Morning. I couldn't eat my dinner last night. I was getting dinner ready and saw on X this bloody post about how Donald Trump has invited Vladimir Putin to be a part of that peace shite in Gaza. And I felt like I'd just been hit by a Mack truck. Seriously, like, I, I couldn't believe what I was reading. Surely not. He can't be doing deals with Lucifer. It's like, if what I'm reading on X is true, everything that they're saying that Putin's getting involved in would undo the Bible. He'd be in league with Lucifer. He'd be signing his soul to Lucifer. And then what was any of all of this for? I, I felt like I'd been gut punched. I felt like he'd taken the sword of truth and stabbed it through my back so far that it stuck me to the moon. And I thought, like, that can't be right, because then he wouldn't get the New Jerusalem, he wouldn't get the Holy Land. He'd be one of them. He'd be joining Lucifer. He'd be betraying God on a biblical level. He'd be hurting the children, not helping the children. He'd be one of them. That can't be my my imaginary best friend. That can't be my work husband. My work husband wouldn't do that. It was that Lord Bebo said it on X. And then I come to find out, I almost cried myself to sleep because I felt like I couldn't believe what I was reading. And then I find out there's another post where he's saying he's on Trump's side to invade Greenland. And I'm like, wait, what? Because if he's on that peace board for Gaza, he's literally going to be on the same side as the people he's at war with, like Keir Starmer. And it's like, how can you be at war with people that are going to be on a peace board in a country that doesn't belong to anyone but the Palestinians? He'd be working for Israel, and it's like, what? Like, what? What am I reading? He's supposed to be. I call him my work husband because we're supposed to be doing God's work. They wouldn't be doing God's work. They'd be working for Lucifer. Like, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Everything I've sacrificed for that man, everything that I've lost, all the times I've been almost assassinated, all the times I've stood against everybody to defend him in God's name, would be for nothing. Who gets the New Jerusalem? Who becomes the Father and the Holy Trinity bloodline? He'd lose everything. He'd become my enemy. He'd end up being a bounty. I'd have to end up taking him down. He'd be karmically judged. He'd lose everything, just like Trump and Starmer are. Things would be. What the hell's going on? See, the thing is, I try to avoid X now. I don't like going in there because it is 99% fake accounts, propaganda, and just bullshit and lies. It's toxic. There's nothing good about X. That's why when I get my money and I get out of here, I'm going to do my own version of Facebook. I'm going to do my own version of X and YouTube and all of that. And just, it's going to be completely different to my rivals because it's going to be fair and it's going to be free speech. Just no sex and real death. There's no need to be putting animals being slaughtered and people dying in that for views. Just no sex and no death. Say what you like, as long as it's not a lie. But if you lie, the community will hold you responsible for it. But X is my least favourite. So, well, X and Facebook, I can't stand them. Instagram is mostly just comedy. I love the Instagram for the comedy. You don't get any of that on Facebook or X. X is just lies and propaganda and fake accounts and it's mostly people just either Elon Musk pumping his own ego or people pumping his ego because they're paid to. And it's so fake and so false and so phony. I'm just praying that they were lies, that they're lying. But if they're lying, they're causing more trouble for Vladimir Putin than is necessary. But if they're not lying, then he's going to lose everything. If it's true, he sold his soul to the devil. He's literally turned to the dark side. And then who is God talking to? Because then it means all the codes in the Bible change. And I'm going to have to redo the algorithm, and it's taken me years. And then who becomes the Lamb of God? I feel like I've just stepped into an alternate universe. Vladimir Putin wouldn't betray God, would he? He wouldn't betray God for Lucifer. He wouldn't do that. Would he? I was going to say, would he betray me like that? But he doesn't. He doesn't know me. It's an unseen force, an unseen holy force. It would mean the algorithm would have to be reworked. Did I miss something? Did I misread the algorithm? Have I been all these years that I've been targeted ever since I've been defending him on Instagram since the start of the war would have been for nothing. I lost my boys for nothing. I lost my possessions, I lost my career, my reputation was destroyed and damaged for nothing. One of the things that gave me the strength to stand and fight in God's name in order to bring an end to this war, in order to rescue the children, was my faith and belief that he was a good, honest, God-fearing man who had integrity and honour in that. And just in 2 posts, I'm now like almost crying myself to sleep because I'm like, what the hell? That would be worse than my husband's cheating on me, because then he's not just betrayed me and the children and everything that I fought for to defend him and clear his name. I have presented a year and a half, nearly 2 years worth of evidence to the King and the ICC and the European Human Rights Commission to defend that man's name and reputation and honour, and to defend Russia, to try and bring peace to the Ukraine, to end it all. I've worked my ass off, sleepless nights, going without food because I've just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked at these investigations to clear that man's name because God said, like, you have to do it. And then in 2 posts, I feel like it's all just been wiped out from under me. I have to believe that those 2 posts were lying. I have to. I have to take everything on X with a grain of salt because if it's not one of Elon Musk's millions of fake accounts where it's all about stroking his own ego and trying to sell his pornographic grok as something reliable, making people think they're filmmakers and artists and that because they leave it up to a robot to think for them. I can't stand it. I hate that shit. All these people and Elon Musk pumping the grok when it's doing real artists out of work. And I'm sorry, but I'm fighting to keep tradition alive. Does Lord Bebo lie? Has he posted lies before? Because I thought he was like one of the... My brain can't even comprehend what I've just read in those 2 posts. I threw my dinner in the bin. Like I had a few mouthfuls. I threw my dinner in the bin, basically like I couldn't eat because I felt like I'd been gut punched so hard that I just wanted to vomit. So my dinner that I cooked is in the bin, and then I just lay down, and I thought, like, I think I need to read the Bible to, like, help me calm down. I didn't know whether to cry or swear because I felt like I'd been dropped from a great height. And then I just lay there and I was like trying not to cry, and then I just fell asleep with tears in my eyes because I thought, like, and it's not personal. I mean, it's not because of me, it's because of God, because he would have betrayed God. Because God sent me to fight for him and to save his soul, just like with King Charles, because we're on the brink of falling into the abyss where we will never recover. Once Great Britain and Russia have sold themselves to Lucifer, you know, like if I can't save the king, Starmer's going to hand Great Britain and the Commonwealth over to Lucifer, and we're all going to be in one big open world concentration camp where they will slowly exterminate us. And I'm trying to stop it by waking the king up and by keeping Vladimir Putin alive. The amount of times that man's been almost assassinated, the lies that have been... I have worked my ass off. I have stayed awake night after night after night, gotten up early, gone without food, had to keep myself isolated to work on these algorithms, to defend that man in front of the world on the world stage. And 2 posts have negated all of that work. And I'm just praying they're lies. Because if they're not lies, then not only did that man betray the children, he's betrayed God. I don't care about me. It's not personal with me. I mean nothing to him. I'm nothing to him. I mean, clearly I'm nothing to him. Never was, never will be. I just called him my imaginary best friend because I thought we were fighting for God together to protect the children, to give the children a good future, to make sure that the children had a future, to preserve tradition and wholesome family values. But it's a betrayal to God. It would be a betrayal to God. And the Ukrainian soldiers and the Russian soldiers and everybody who's lost out, all the money that's been stolen from the taxpayers to fight this money laundering war, all the children that have been sacrificed and trafficked, all the victims on the Epstein file, all the victims of Israel, the Palestinians, the Syrians, the Lebanese, the Israeli, the innocent Jews, it'll be for nothing. Because he climbed into he would have trusted the shark and climbed into the shark's mouth, thinking it was a whale. It makes no sense that Donald Trump would be inviting him to join this Gaza peace board. Gaza's got nothing to do with any other country in the world other than Palestine. Tony Blair, Tony Blair and Keir Starmer are God's enemies. He's literally at war with those people. They're threatening to go to war. Their country is on the brink of going to war with his country, and now they're going to be on a peace board together when they haven't even ended the war. Like, it makes no sense. And then this whole Greenland thing, what was the Bella 1 crap over? Like, what was that for? It's madness. My brain can't even comprehend that level of betrayal against the Lord if those 2 posts are true. So I'm just sitting tight and praying that those posts are lies, because 99.9% of the crap that comes out of X is lies. It's all fear-mongering, lies and propaganda, and false advertising, and people are saying, to boycott Starlink because he peddles pedophilia. Grok peddles pedophilia. And so now he uses his ex to try and wash over the conspiracies and controversies. But every now and then a thread will come through that I can jump on that helps me with my algorithm, like the Mossad one, because I'm trying to wake the king up, because he's on the brink of losing everything, and now apparently so is Vladimir Putin, and it's like, what the hell? So am I left fighting this holy war by myself now? Like, is it literally just me? Well, George Galloway's come out and said the exact same thing I have. I've included him on some of my threads, so I don't know if he's been watching what I've been saying and he agrees with me, but the whole Dartmoor thread that I pulled on, where I said that America was strategically placing air bases around Great Britain because it's like a silent coup. They're quietly invading Great Britain. He's just come out and said the exact same thing. He's a sensible man. He speaks logic. That's why they don't like him. I have a lot of respect for him, because he thinks along the same logical lines as me. I mean, one a few days ago there were posts saying Greenland belongs to Denmark. And now he's saying, I agree with Trump to invade Greenland. And it's like, wait, what? And then, like, I thought he was on the side of, like, I thought he was on the side of the Palestinian people. And now he's been invited to be on the peace board of doom because there's nothing peaceful about that board. He's basically inviting them to turn Gaza into a holiday resort once they've exterminated all the people. And now the reports are saying that Moscow's mulling over the contract to work out the nuances. Wait, what? Like, what? I just have to pray that it's fake. Because that's not the man that I've been fighting and almost dying to defend. That wouldn't be the man. It would be like a humiliation against everything that my physics stood for. It would rewrite the Bible. It would call God a liar. It would be a betrayal of God on a biblical level. The kind of betrayal where they sent Jesus off to his execution, that kind of level of betrayal, that would be worse than anything Judas did to Jesus. He's literally on the brink of being handed the new world. He's literally on the brink of being blessed with the honour of being given the New Jerusalem, and he's going to screw it all up. Like, it has to be a lie, right? Those posts, they have to be wrong. I have to believe they're wrong. I have to believe he's been set up or something, because that's not the Vladimir Putin that I've spent the last, 5 years, nearly 6 years, publicly defending, to the point of being targeted for abuse and starvation and torture and abandonment and neglect and having my human rights violated and my Indigenous rights stripped. It was bad enough when I found out that Trump betrayed me, because I was originally fighting to defend the both of them. That was bad enough. It took me a long time to recover from the Donald Trump betrayal, but I don't think I'd ever be able to get over a Vladimir Putin betrayal, because I thought he was my invisible best friend. I thought he was on God's side. I thought we were in this together. My pretend work husband and I fight it like I'd feel humiliated. And I know I'm not bad at my job, and I know my codes aren't wrong. So I have to believe that X is just lying. Until I see it from his mouth, until I just don't even know what to think. I can barely even talk because my brain can't comprehend what was in those 2 posts. I'm in bed. I'm in my Jimmy Jams. I'm in bed. I'm snuggled up with a hot water bottle. That's my candle. I love to sit by candlelight. I must be one of the only people in the world still using candles. I love the ambience. I like incense. I like incense, and I burn oils, and I lay here and I listen to classical music, or I watch some stuff on YouTube and that, and it's just I love the ambience of a candle. Plus, it also you're not using electricity, but I just love the ambience of it. I don't know what to think, so I keep away from X now. I go in when I have to. I'm basically only in there as a means to try and appeal to the king to hurry up and wake up. The more I defend him, the more I speak out, the more stuff that's getting posted about what an evil family he's from. I feel like I'm in this holy war by myself now. I feel like I've lost my best friend. Because the thing that's going to hurt more than anything in the world, if he has joined the dark side, then I'm going to have to take him down. He'll become a bounty. And I'll have to collect the soul of my own imaginary best friend. And that's going to hurt like hell. And then I'll have to write a whole movie about it. I'll get to turn it into a movie and a video game. And then where do I build my school? It would have to be Hungary. He'd be the only, Viktor Orban would be the only one left. Anyway, I'm trying not to cry, but I'm also trying not to say swear words. Because I don't know whether to be sad or angry. I'm on the in-between. I have to believe that it's fake, that it's propaganda. If I could get all my data, if I could get all my stuff off X, I'd get almost, because I don't have a laptop or anything, so I can't download all my tweets or anything, but if I could get my stuff off X and Instagram, I'd shut them both down. Especially X, because it's just all lies. There's nothing good about X. When I do my own versions of social media, they're not going to be anything like what's out there. Alright, I'm going to go now because I just need to sit and contemplate my orb. I got to leave it in the hands of God now, because it's like I can't touch this until I know the truth, until I see evidence, and then I'll have to make the decision based on evidence. If it comes out of his mouth, then I'll know. Until it comes out of his mouth, till I physically see him say it, I have to believe it's all lies and propaganda, but I'll make my decision from that point on. If more and more and more news starts coming out, if it comes out that he's agreed to be on the board, then everything was a lie, including the threat of war against Russia coming from Great Britain, including all the times that, like, Trump tried to assassinate him. Trump's been letting Ukraine bomb Russia and kill Russians and stuff, and it's like, and now he's contemplating joining his peace board. It doesn't make sense. I have to believe that this is all a lie. The whole Bella One thing, like, I have to believe it's all a lie. America has been behind half the shit, including since Trump's been in. Trump has betrayed that man so many times and almost killed him so many times and was behind the bombing of the Chernobyl and blaming it on him, and now he's contemplating being on his peace board. It doesn't make sense. And Tony Blair and Keir Starmer are going to be on that peace board, and he's literally at war with them. Anyway, my tummy's grumbling because I didn't eat all my dinner, but the thought of eating right now just makes me feel sick. It's bad enough that the coalition of Epstein is the Antichrist movement, the Fabian Society members and Illuminati betrayed God. God's used to it. But if Vladimir Putin has betrayed God, then that's the son of God betraying his own father. This is worse than Judas betraying Jesus Christ. This would be Jesus Christ betraying God. And nobody betrays God. Not without dealing with the consequences. And then I'd have to turn him into a bounty. Be like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's not an assignment I'd want. I'd give it to someone else. I have to believe it's fake news. I have to believe it's fake news. I refuse to believe that I refuse to believe that's who he is. I gotta leave it in the hands of God now because I've walked away from X. I'm done with the whole thing. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep praying, and I feel like I'm in a vortex and it's spinning, 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 spinning. I feel all like woozy and discombobulated from the shock of it. Like, I feel like I've been flying and then someone's come along and just like knocked me off course. I thought I was flying in a straight line and then someone's just come along and knocked the wind out of my sails, knocked the wind out of my wings, and I'm spinning and I'm trying to reset my flight path. It's funny, I wrote about that in Quantum Menace. She's jumping through the slipstream and the shadow folk try to join her slipstream and knock her off course, and she ends up in a completely different, well, I say she, it's he now, and he ends up in a completely different vortex. She's pushed into a vortex and ends up in a completely different time span, different era to where she was jumping because she got knocked off course. Obviously I need to rewrite it to make it all him, but yeah, that actually happens in Quantum Menace. That's how it feels. Like I've been tackled. Running with the rugby ball, just about to get the try, and I've been tackled. Boom. by like a prop or something. Just like a hooker out of left field. And I can feel the impact on my body from the shock, like literally. Like I've gone across the street and I've been hit by a friggin' truck. That's how the impact of that shock is how it feels. So now I just got to leave it to God and sit back. I'm keeping away from X. I'm only going in when I have to. I can't stand that place. I feel dirty being in there. It's just like being in walking into like a seedy, manky brothel or strip club. That's how dirty it feels. Because it's just filthy, dirty, like it's just festering with slimy, greasy, dirty. Ugh. Ugh. I just, ugh. Get it off me. Just being around anything to do with Elon Musk is like, it's just perverted and seedy and nasty, and just because of the lies and the festering, ugh, immorality of ugh, people wanting to be noticed. And I'm not talking about the normal everyday people. I'm talking about the seedy underbelly that I know is there. The, the stuff I see that nobody else sees. And the whole grok sucking the souls out of writers and musicians and artists and ugh, knowing that it promotes indecency towards women and children, and Elon Musk so desperately wanting to be liked by people. And the more he tries to do stuff, the more people hate him for it. Like he's come out with this whole, oh, buy Starlink, we're going to be cheaper than BT and Virgin and all that. And people are saying, boycott Starlink because it's seedy. Elon Musk is seedy. Everybody knows he's seedy. He's like that used car salesman with the bad sports jacket and the greasy hair, with the button shoot with the chest hair poking out and the gold medallion, kind of gold rings on his fingers, perving at the young girls that are coming to look with their daddy to buy their first car at the age of 16, and that's that whole vibe of Elon Musk and X. Opening the car door for her and putting his hand on her back when she peeks in so he can get a good look at her ass and all of that sort of thing. Having to pull on his pants because like he's getting aroused while he's trying to sell this car to this girl and her daddy. Ugh. That's that whole Elon Musk X vibe. It's seedy and it's gross. Just ugh. Keep it away from me. Anyway, so I'm going to go because like I've got to leave this in the hands of God. I just have to hope and pray that it's all lies. I'll put the links in the description box. Make up your own mind, but that can't be him. It has to be a lie. He can't be that easily sold, surely. He can't sell his soul that easy. Anyway, I'm gonna go and try and not cry. And I need to ground myself because I can't make sense of it. So I'm going to go. Look, So white. This is why I'm called Snow White. I glow in the dark. My nose, that's my chesticles, my greenstone. My skin is so white you can literally see my greenstone with one little Snow White. I'm gonna go. Ka kite anō. Mwah.